His name is George Knox. He's from the Atlanta area. Come on over, New York Jet. Great artist. Brings a really lot to the program and to the table. George has been with us for 3+ years and 5+ years, I should say, and really kind of done. Yeah, and he's just been a driving force through this whole factor. So thank you, George, and you should talk to him about some of the great work he's got.
I self-taught, and I just do whatever media comes up. Yeah, and when I first started, it was pencil, pen and ink, and then clay, sculpture, and just went on after that. But I didn't get into it until after I retired. Yeah. You know, I could always do it, but never did it to sell, always for enjoyment.
What about your ex-NFL buddies? Did you ever sell something to them?
Of course, and this is the way I had to get them in here. I had to tell them, man, help me with this show. I'm setting this show up, and they would help me with the show. And while they putting the stuff up, they said, "Oh, this ain't bad." I said, "Yeah, I'll give you a discount on it." And that's how I got them to buy. And then after they bought, they started buying it on a regular basis. I had one buddy. He said, "Man, how much you want for that?" I said, well, "That's only like $4,500, but I give it to you for $3,500." And when he got it appraised, it was over 14 grand.
Wow, wow.
And that was the key to them understanding that what I'm doing is quality. The art world always has stuff that appreciates and never goes down. But if you got that Porsche, 3 years later, it was a little lower than it was when you bought it, right? And that's the difference in the art world and when you invest in, put your money where things can grow for you. Right. And you don't have to watch it.
Yeah, I know that's real important because I know as far as art, I mean, NFL players, us as black people, period, I mean, we spend our money on like gold chains and cars and clothes, jewelry, you know what I mean? So we try to put our money and invest our money in fine art, especially black art. You know,
black art is great because it's lower than the regular mainstream, but it's creeping up because now they're really starting to appreciate the value and understand how, and regardless of what area, the same quality that's in their work is definitely in our work. Because when I first started doing sculptures, I think the first year, I'm thinking that a piece that I had first done was going to be a little lower. Then all of a sudden the appraisers came, and I'm looking at this piece, I said no less than $3,200. I'm scratching my head. I ain't sold nothing for $3,200 yet, but eventually it happens.
Well, I mean, like, you got to educate brothers like myself. I mean, I ain't going to lie because I go to the store and buy something for like $5. I get the, the leopard with the girl laying on it like that. I'm like, that's hot. And I put it in my living room. You know what I mean? And so this educated me, but this stuff it's just fine stuff. I mean, like, so we got to bring a lot of our brothers and sisters to check this stuff out and even get them to start doing their own stuff, sculpture, you know?
There's so many talented people in our community. And many of them don't know how good that they may be if they pursued that avenue. And there's, even if you were not the artist, the stuff relating to the creativity, creating the art and the art world is a way to make a living in it, make a career out of it, because there's so many entities that are involved in promoting art, selling art, showing art, etc., that we don't even bring it into concept because we never get into it. And so it needs to be brought to you and say, hey, how can I be around art and still, I'm not a creator, I'm not an artist, but the world of art has a lot to offer in its own genre.
Let me ask a quick question before his finger get tired. What's the difference between African art and other art? I mean, like European and Asian and stuff like that.
It's just subject matter, style. It's nothing different. The primary difference is what you value and what they value. And the thing is, when I was glad that I was a sculptor, because when I brought my work out, and I'm self-taught, but I learned in the foundry how to do what I do. So as a result, I knew what good castings were and bad castings. So I did good castings because I was taught that way. And when I got the appraisals, I'm looking at pieces that I thought were maybe 20% of what their real value were, only because of the quality. And what what the last thing that really took me back is that I had done a piece like the Moran right there, and when it was appraised, I thought it was only going to be appraised for maybe 10 grand. Well, the guy's first appraiser said no less than 15, and it was between 15 and 20. It was my third piece out. But that's the way it is when you do the quality, and you also bring, you know, fine art to what it's all about. So it stratifies, and when you say white art or Anglo-Saxon art, other art, it's just subjects. Right. Subject. I think it's primarily denoting the subject matter and who's doing it.
All of it is beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. It shouldn't be any. It should be. Only thing you can say, does a black person do it, a white person do it, Asian do it? That's the only difference. But all of it's fine art.
Well, this brother got a jewel for everybody out there. I got some knowledge from it. If you been getting a lot of knowledge from it, then I don't know what you watching this for. Let me end this question. Well, the last question I'm gonna ask everybody else. Can I get something for free, brother? Oh, all right, never mind. Anyway, we're gonna close this one up. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, at the closet, another happening spot. Get dope clothes over here. I'm about to go shopping here myself because I'm kind of freshly clean. Cash cow all day long. Yeah, okay. Now, you can wear a vest as a t-shirt with some shorts on the beach.
Yeah, I'm wearing that tonight.
You wearing that tonight? Now, if you're a young black entrepreneur that you want to showcase your business, hit me up. We back here with Mr. Dion Clark, and he would like to say something to all you people out there.
We have something called the Young Masters, and the Young Masters are great. These Young Masters come from some of the most renowned schools throughout the United States, and they really are experts in the field of fine art. Stephen Daly and Art, they are phenomenal in what they do. These are our new Beardens, these are our new Jacob Lawrences, and please look at their work and hear their voices, because this is the new vogue, and this is what we expect in the future. Please, guys, tell them a little bit about what you do.
Stephen Lamar Daly, just graduated this year from the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Art. I'm a sculptor. I work in steel and cement and make a little bit of furniture. So it's great to come out here and have the opportunity to hit the ground running after graduating from school, have an opportunity to show in New York, and within less than a year, been able to have a show in New York City. So we're just glad to be a part of it.
Hi, I'm Ark. I'm a grad student at the New York Academy of Art. It's a really great opportunity to come out here and show. After being in New York for 4 months, to have my work shown, I think is amazing. And I'm studying painting, and most of my paintings I really try to focus on like a narrative, but also like the narrative that I think can be told within like how it's been painted in the technical narrative.
And these pieces right now might be worth $2,000 and $4,000. In 5 years, you're talking about $10,000 and $20,000 in terms of pieces. Great young masters, and I'm proud to be associated with them and have them as part of the Harlem Fine Arts Show.
Oh, man, it's great just to be standing here next to greatness, all three of y'all brothers. Let me ask y'all a question. Like you said, you here in New York, and you're from Baltimore and Philadelphia. What's the feeling that you here in New York and Harlem, just doing your dream, brother?
It's great. It's the support level has been phenomenal. You got people who come out here and really want you to do well. You got people who will just push you and make sure that you continue and believe in yourself. So that's been invaluable. The levels of support that we've gotten out here, and the opportunity to show is huge. You come out of school and sort of all of a sudden you've been in school for 4 years, you've been in classes, you've been making artwork, and then nothing. You graduate and you got to figure it out yourself. So to have people supporting you and giving you an opportunity to show, introducing you to people, and making sure that your art career continues is a huge advantage and a privilege.
Wow. We got to hit the brother right here with the great name.
Oh, yeah, I would just like to second what Steve said. I agree. Like after school, like it's kind of hard to continue showing. Like after graduating, coming from a place where you have like a show constantly, to try to find a venue is kind of hard. So having the opportunity to come out here and having the support from Dion and all his friends and collectors is really good.
What type of venues normally, like when you're trying to get your art out there, what type of venues you normally hit?
Well, I just mostly look online at different competitions that I can enter. Sometimes you go to galleries, but right now since I'm in grad school, I'm just kind of taking a break from that and just doing grad school stuff and just kind of focus on my work there. But yeah, usually you just have to look online at different opportunities that are out there for artists.
Well, like I said, man, these some great young leaders right here, man. They're not even 30 years old and they doing their thing. They bringing it to you, Wang. You know what I mean? I can't rap, so don't pay me no mind. Yeah, well, if I say something, it's from the 90s anyway, right? But, man, look, tune in. You got to check these brothers out. Buy their art, man. Support our black people, man. That's what we got to do, man. This ain't just about buying that new Ching Ching, 2 Chainz album. You know what I'm saying? How about get the 2 terms right here? Stay tuned. We back, and we back. I'm standing here talking to my man right here, Mr. Ark Monero. Monero Niles. Yeah. He got a great name. His name better than mine, I'm telling you.
I don't know.
My name is Marcel. Ark Monero, top that.
Equally cool.
It's equally cool.
I think so.
We looking at some of his art over here. I was really impressed with this one right here. He was just recently telling me it was your grandfather. He had cancer.
Yeah, my grandfather had passed away of cancer in 2009, and during while he was in the hospital struggling with it, I went in and took some photos, just kind of like to capture the moment. And last year I just kind of went back through those photos I just kind of wanted to paint it, and it was kind of like I guess something that helped me get over it. That's why it's happening. You're not really in the moment. You're never really paying attention to it. So just kind of reliving it just kind of helped me deal with it a little bit.
Right. Because when I'm trying to find out, all these arts has some stories behind it. You said this is like a friend of yours.
Yeah.
And this one right here, when you just hanging out in your room.
Yep, hanging out.
This one right here. What's that? Explain to him.
Caravaggio painting. It's just a copy. He's like my favorite artist. Before I saw one of his paintings, I was primarily painting abstractly.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's Caravaggio. What's his name?
Caravaggio.
Caravaggio.
Yeah, he's an Italian artist from maybe the 1600s. Oh. And I really like this composition and stuff. Before I saw his paintings, I was painting abstractly. And then once I saw his work, it kind of made me want to paint the figure again. Right. So like I always look to him for inspiration of like how to design and structure the lights and stuff within my work.
Oh, okay. Oh, man, you got some great art here.
Thank you.
Can I ask you a great question? How old are you?
24.
You 24?
Yeah, I had to think about it.
Oh, you turned 24?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How can you tell these young brothers out here, in the streets, because, in our hoods, North New Jersey, New York, all the tri-state area, I mean, like, the gang banging and drug selling, and how, a young brother like you, tell these young brothers out here they can do stuff like this too?
I mean, I think it's possible for anyone. I guess me, luckily, I just had a teacher in high school that just kind of showed me that it's possible, And I guess before then, I never really thought about it. But he just really installed an idea that if I put my mind to something, that I can do it. And he saw that I had a passion for art, and he really pushed me. And I've just been following ever since. And I think whatever dream you have, if you really focus and put your mind to it, the universe will help all that fall in place.
Right, because, you had a great teacher, because when I was in high school, I had a passion for girls. You know what I mean? So I should have some girls painted on here, I wouldn't be painting. I just put the, nude pictures up, Yeah, man, they stand in line for me. Nah, I'm just joking. But, man, it's great talking to you, man. I'm sort of short, though, but, man, I'm going to give you a card, man. We got to keep in contact, man. You got to come on the show again. You know what I mean? It's called The Word Is Out. Everybody, right.
Thanks for having me.
We the hottest people on the street right now. We care about the people. It's not about getting paid. It's God over everything. We doing it big time. Matter of fact, I'm just throw the microphone up in the air. Steve Daly, brand new artist on the scene, dope artist on the scene. If my cameraman can move back, we can see some of his dope art right here. I might take this home myself right here. This is Goliath 2.
This is Goliath 2 right here, and then this larger one over here is Goliath 1.
Goliath 1. We were just recently talking. You from
I'm from Baltimore, Maryland originally, and then 4 years I've been in Philadelphia since going to Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Art.
And we was asking them, what's the difference between Baltimore and Philadelphia?
I mean, in coming from Baltimore and going to Philly, I just noticed a different vibe. I think the diversity promotes people to be more accepting of different things, and be accepting of art and culture. And in Baltimore, it's not to say that that doesn't happen, but in Philadelphia, I really like the different cultures all being together in one. You got your black people living next to Indian immigrants, living next to Ethiopian immigrants, living next to college students, and all of that mixing together creates a really interesting culture of people all together in one.
I never knew that. So Baltimore is not it's not similar to Philadelphia?
Well, to tell you the truth, I shouldn't speak on that, because being from Baltimore and being raised there, I'm sort of have a jaded opinion of it, and everybody sort of wants to leave home sometimes, and I think Baltimore is coming up very quickly in the art scene. Maryland Institute's been down there, and in that area, like a lot of cool things are happening. But I wanted to get out as soon as possible, so Philly was a next stop. New York is it's fast for me. It's not what I'm used to, so I think Philly right now is a good middle ground. I can sort of feel like I'm taking it easy there, but also be involved with the niche, the community. You can find your niche there really easily. It's a supportive community. I work in a studio in West Philly now with 14 other sculptors, and we all have side jobs. We all have things that we got to do, but when we meet on Fridays, and we all hold each other up in that way, support the art. So you can really find your niche there. That's what I like about it.
I'm always interested in asking questions about Philadelphia, because it seems like they got their own culture going on. I mean, like the Jill Scotts, not Erykah Badu, she's not from there. The Jasmine.
Yeah, a lot of people coming out of Philly, and not being raised there, I can't speak on that, but in coming to Philadelphia and not being from there, you got mural arts program, murals and stuff on buildings and stuff, and I think that influences the way people think. When you can see the arts, you can be immersed in the arts, even if you're not an artist. You got public art, you got murals being painted on, say, subways and stuff like that. It influences the way you think. I think it makes you a happier person, and makes you think about things you could potentially do. And I think that's what people get the idea that, like, yeah, I can do other things. I can do music, art, dance, whatever, and people will be supportive of that and receptive of it. And I think that's all it takes, is people thinking that you can do something.
Well, getting back to what Baltimore is a lot of artists influence in Baltimore. I mean, like doing sculptures, because these are beautiful sculptures here. I mean, like this picture here, and this picture right here, especially this one right here. I want to take home, and put it back under the truck. You know what I'm saying? It costs what, $30,000? Not cost that much, but it's people in Baltimore, are they influenced of doing stuff like this? Because we were just talking to the other brothers. What do you say to the young brothers out there that want to gang bang and shoot each other up and kill each other? I mean, like, how can we get them to this point to do sculptures and artists, music, anything that they want to do, movies? I mean, all that stuff,
I guess that's one of the things about Baltimore that's interesting to me. In high school, I actually was given a scholarship to travel to Europe. So I went to Tuscany for 3 weeks, and that's when I came back. I'm like, art is that's what I need to do for the rest of my life. People support me in that way. In Baltimore, I definitely, gangs are prevalent and violence and stuff like that. And that's in any city, of course, but I think that diversity thing, getting familiar with other cultures and other people makes you see that there's many, many different ways to live. There's not one way to live, and I think that is a problem for any city. If anytime you have a stagnant culture, anytime that people believe that there's only one way to live, whether it be in gangs, I got family members that have been involved in that, in jail, locked up, stuff like that, but when you see other opportunities, I think that's when you start to think outside of what you're used to, what your comfort zone is, and that's when you start to decide, like, all right, well, whatever I feel in here, I should go for that without being worried about what people might think about me, because some of it is what you think your peer group, and that's not like peers in school, but like the people that you are around and immersed in the culture you're in. If you don't think somebody's going to be supportive of it, you can be discouraged from, say, making art. And that was, I didn't make art until high school, even though I was drawing and doodling and stuff. Sometimes you just don't want to show that stuff to people because you don't feel like they would be receptive of it, and that's all I think it is being around so much different stuff at once that you don't think that there is one normal. There's many normals and there's many things you can do.
Let me ask you a quick question about art. I'm in the film myself, and me and my brother, we got a little thing. We go back and forth. He said he thinks that white movies is better than black movies. I mean, it's a crazy conversation. You know what I mean? We going on for like 3 years about this conversation. Man, we hit each other on YouTube and everything. It's crazy. You know what I mean? But let me ask you a question. What's the difference between black art and other art? Asian, European?
You know, that's an interesting question. That's sort of, I mean, I find myself asking whether or not I would label myself a black artist. What does that mean to be a black artist? Not that that's good or bad, either way, but is it a title that is indicative of the work that you're supposed to make? And at the end of the day, I think, and I don't care what it is, I don't want to be pigeonholed as anything. And that's not saying that, I mean, I am a black artist, that's what I am. But I don't want somebody to look at me like he makes black art. It should be something that's accepted in all genres. It should be something that's accepted across the board, I think. But I do want to own that, because that's where the work comes from, is the struggle of, say, you know, being an African American male. What are you expected of? What people expect of you? What people see when you walk down the street? What do they expect of you from the way you talk? You know, you find yourself in these situations where people maybe saying, "Oh, you speak so well," or "Oh, I can't believe that you've done this and that." "Oh, you're very articulate," and it's like, should I take offense to that, or should I say, you know what, I've made my choices and there's a direction I want to go in, and no matter what people want to pigeonhole me or not, like, I'm going to own what I want to own and be who I want to be without worrying about what the titles are. And so I think there would be some people that would say that there's a difference between black art and whatever else is out there, but in terms of culture, you know, like, for example, you wouldn't say that there's like black jazz and then other jazz. Like, it's mixed in. It should all be one big diversified thing. I think diversity is key when it comes to that. And of course, you got your forerunners being of, you know, say for example, jazz forerunners being black. That's important. And it's important that they own that. But I don't think anyone wants to have any limit.
Like hip hop music.
In terms of
in the right direction, or,
you know, I have a hard. I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't speak on it, because my favorite hip hop and rap music ended in the '90s. I think.
Boom. You know what I'm talking about? This the '80s babies, the '90s babies.
You know, my favorite artists were
like, you know, Black Moon.
My favorite
Smith
artist, Smith and Wesson, and I mean, even the guys that nowadays they're still involved in the scene. You know, Reasonable Doubt, Jay-Z, Nas, and stuff like that. And I think what the difference was then was that people were talking about a struggle. People had to live a certain way, and they were talking about that stuff, one, as a coping mechanism, two, they were talking about the things that they had to do, maybe they didn't want to do, and talking about trying to get to a better life. And now I think we have rap music a lot of times talking about it's a perpetration of a certain lifestyle. You know, you got guys that make millions of dollars still talking about slanging on the corner, which is like, dude, you don't do that anymore.
Because that make the album sell.
Right. So I mean, some of it I have a hard time with. I think the production that goes into it is wonderful. I mean, you listen to the beats and, like, obviously the level of artistry at that level is very, very high. The content is another thing.
Oh man, I wish I could keep going on and on, but my man keep doing me the wrap up finger. I'm about to wrap his finger up all right. Nice to you, man. Oh man, I gotta check your stuff out, man. I wish I can get some of this. Can I get this one take home?
Maybe one I'll make you one.
All right, we be back. Don't stop. Don't move your channels and eat your cereal. I'll be right back.